Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to introduce you to an inspiring story. Today, we'll explore Iqbal Chapter 2, a story of courage and defiance in a carpet factory workroom. This presentation is brought to you by Mr. Mohammed Yahya. Over the next few slides, we'll delve into the powerful narrative that highlights resilience and bravery in challenging circumstances. Let's get started. As I look around my workroom, I notice the warm summer sun streaming through the window, casting a gentle glow on my carpet. It's a peaceful moment, but then I see two beams of sunlight crossing right over my work. And in that moment, I imagine them as swords clashing, almost like a scene from a story. To me, one of those swords represents the good hero, fighting for justice and righteousness. The other symbolizes the evil villain, trying to cause chaos and trouble. This simple interplay of light and shadow actually helps me think about the larger themes we're discussing. How different forces, like good and evil, are always present, even in the most ordinary environments. It's a reminder that our surroundings can inspire stories and reflections about the themes at the heart of our work. Karim is almost 17 years old, which means he's really reached that age where tying small knots in carpets is no longer his thing. He's outgrown those little tasks. Instead, he's taken on a different kind of role. Because he's getting older, Karim now acts like the boss of the younger children. He supervises their work and often tries to impress them with his words. This change in behavior is pretty typical as kids grow up. They start to take on more responsibility and sometimes even try to lead others. It's a natural part of his development, and it ties into the larger theme of growing up and finding your place in the group. Karim's stories are quite special. He has a cinema experience that's quite rare for him. He says he's been to the cinema only twice. And you know what? That amazes the children so much, because for many of them, going to the cinema is a big adventure. Karim also loves to tell epic tales. These are long, exciting stories filled with heroes and villains, danger and bravery, but always with happy endings. It's like taking a journey through imagination, and that's a perfect example of how storytelling can bring us together and inspire us. And then there's Fatima. She listens so attentively to Karim's stories, and she dreams of one day seeing a cinema herself. That's a wonderful reminder of how stories can ignite dreams and inspire hope, especially for children who might not have many opportunities yet. All of these points connect to our overall theme, how storytelling and experiences shape our dreams and bring us closer to new worlds. Karim's stories show us the power of imagination, and Fatima's dream reminds us of the hope that stories can inspire in all of us. Today, I want to talk about a fascinating aspect of Fatima's world, the television and the doubts it brings. You see, the master and mistress own a television, which is quite rare for children from poor families. This new technology sparks curiosity and wonder in Fatima and the others. At night, they often hear strange voices and see colorful lights coming from the house. It's almost like the house is alive with mystery. Karim claims he once watched a cricket game through the window, and he's quite excited about it. But Fatima isn't convinced. She doubts his story. This contrast between belief and skepticism highlights how new experiences can be confusing, especially when they challenge what we think is possible. It also ties into the larger theme of curiosity and doubt, how technology and unfamiliar sights can inspire wonder but also raise questions. So this slide reminds us that technological advances, even in small ways, can create a sense of wonder and uncertainty, especially for children trying to make sense of their world. Now, as Hussain Khan arrives, we see a series of key moments unfold. First, there's what I like to call the near mistake, where Fatima almost drops her weaving thread. It's a small, almost unnoticed moment, but it highlights how delicate her work is and how easily things could go wrong. She quickly fixes it, showing her skill and attentiveness. Then, suddenly, we see the master's entrance. Hussain Khan, the master, steps into the scene, and his presence immediately commands attention. He's big, wearing a long coat and dusty boots, which tell us a lot about his character and background. He's also holding a thin boy tightly by the arm, which adds an element of authority and control. This moment is crucial because it sets the tone for his role in the story and the dynamic between him and the others. Throughout this scene, we see how Hussain Khan's arrival impacts everything, linking back to the overall theme of power, control, and the social hierarchy at play. So, when I first saw the boy, my initial impression was that he looked a little older than Fatima. At first glance, I thought he was quite handsome, but as I looked closer, I decided he wasn't really my type. Still, there was something about his eyes that caught my attention. Those eyes were strong and fearless, really intense. As the 14th child, along with Karim, watched quietly, I could feel that they sensed something different about this boy. It wasn't just his appearance, but the way he carried himself and the look in his eyes that set him apart from the others. This moment is important because it shows how first impressions can be deceiving, but also how a person's true character often shows through their gaze. It connects to the larger theme of understanding beneath surface appearances and recognizing strength and courage in unexpected places. Now, here we see Hussain Khan demonstrating control by pulling out a rusty shackle and locking it onto the boy's ankle. This symbolizes the literal and metaphorical constraints placed upon him. The shackle represents the burden of debt and the restrictions that come with it. Hussain then explains the rules of this situation, about the debt the boy owes and the strict, often oppressive rules that govern his work. It's a clear illustration of how debt can limit freedom and impose a harsh structure on someone's life. But what's really striking is the boy's response. Instead of showing fear or hesitation, he answers quickly and confidently with, "I know." That's a powerful moment, showing he's aware of his circumstances and isn't backing down. It highlights resilience and a fearless attitude, which ties into our overall theme of strength and resistance in the face of oppression. Now let's talk about Hussain's warning. Here, the master gives his assessment of the boy. He describes him as proud and stubborn, but importantly, he is very skilled at weaving. That skill stands out, showing that the boy has a real talent, but his personality traits, pride and stubbornness, are also significant. Hussain advises Karim to keep a close watch on this new boy, suggesting that his character and abilities could have an impact on what's to come. Then we see a lingering concern. Even after Hussain leaves, his words reveal that he is worried about this child. It's a subtle but powerful indication that there's more to be considered about the boy's potential and the risks involved. This moment ties into the overall theme of the presentation, highlighting the importance of understanding both skills and character. Hussain's cautious attitude reminds us that talent alone isn't enough. We need to be mindful of the person behind that talent and the possible consequences. Now let's take a closer look at Iqbal's introduction. First, we see that he takes immediate action. He doesn't hesitate or wait to be told what to do. He goes straight to the loom and starts working right away. This shows his eagerness and willingness to learn. Next, notice his skillful fingers. Even when faced with a difficult pattern, he moves quickly and with great precision. This highlights his natural talent and determination, which are important themes in his story. Finally, there's a moment of surprise. Everyone around him is amazed by his ability, and then, at last, Iqbal reveals his name, Iqbal Masih. This moment is powerful because it introduces us to a young boy who will become a symbol of hope and resilience. Through his actions and his reveal, we see how his courage and talent stand out, shaping the overall story of his fight for freedom and justice.